motives. Christian Whiton is currently working for Newt Gingrich's presidential campaign. He's a former State Department senior advisor and a principal with the D.C. International Advisory Group. Always good to see you, Christian. Thanks very much for joining us. And as we said, not everyone's convinced that Iran is after a nuclear weapon. And in fact, some of the top U.S. military officials are on record saying that they don't think that the Iranians at this point are trying to develop a nuclear weapon. We're talking about the director of the CIA, David Petraeus, the director of the National Intelligence Agency, James Clapper, Defense Secretary Leon Panetta, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Martin Dempsey. Are they all wrong, Christian?
I think it's a symbol of the complete failure of our Washington foreign policy establishment, including the intelligence community. You know, these people are doubling down, to use one of President Obama's favorite terms, on the 2007 National Intelligence Estimate that said that Iran had stopped its nuclear weapons program. That was completely disproven. It was politicized. It's been disproven. In this latest bout of testimony, you had the defense secretary up on Capitol Hill saying that it was very carefully worded that Iran is, now we can't be certain they are working toward a nuclear weapon design. That is at best sophistry, and at worst it's misleading Congress and the American people. You know, I challenge your viewers to go and look at the November 2011 IAEA report on Iran. It is chock full of information about Iran doing things that could not possibly be used for a nuclear energy program, but it's for a weapons program, nucleral weapons design, fusing, timing mechanisms, on things that can only be used.
Give us a couple specifics from that report in November. Tell us specifically, because the Iranians, and of course there are many reasons to doubt what they say publicly, but they have always maintained that their nuclear program is for peaceful purposes only. How do we know they're not telling the truth?
Well, the report, and this is also based on a number of intelligence agencies that cooperate with the IAEA, and they have things in there like a nuclear weapons design, which they found. They have fusing explosives, modeling equipment that, again, can only be used, according to these nuclear experts, for nuclear weapons design. And then let's just apply the smell test. Why is Iran burrowing into the side of hills to hide its nuclear research facilities? Why is it put it underneath a huge concrete apron at Natanz? Why is it still dragging its feet with IAEA inspectors, sometimes allowing them in, sometimes not, essentially?
But here's the thing,
them.
Christian, to a lot of people this sounds like a familiar story. And we certainly don't want to have what happened back 10 years ago when Iraq was doing a lot of the same things that Iran is doing now, and we went in there looking for their nuclear program only to find that there wasn't one. How do we keep from making the same mistake?
Well, it's a good point, Rick. And our intelligence community failed us then. They failed us now. They failed to catch Pakistan about to go nuclear. They weren't terribly good at catching, or at least providing policymakers with good information on North Korea and its program. We spend $80 billion a year, if you calculate the entire girth of the intelligence community. It completely missed Arab Spring. It is, you know, a part of the Washington foreign policy establishment and the broader Washington establishment that has failed. It needs to be drastically reformed. You know, if you go back, a lot of the problems from the post-Watergate era, when the intelligence community was really decimated, the CIA, the Directorate of Operations, the people who do the actual spying were cast aside, and the Directorate of Intelligence, the PhDs, were put in charge. It would be like telling the University of Alabama football team that they henceforth had to report to the English department at the school. You know, we need to start undoing that and go back to having real intelligence agencies that do real intelligence and don't just play domestic politics.
Christian Whiton is advising former Speaker Gingrich in his run for the Republican nomination, but he's also a former State Department senior advisor. Always good to talk to you, Christian. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Rick.